Welcome to Backyard Cigars. I'm very excited today to try a cigar from a wonderful, wonderful cigar individual. She's quite the personality, quite the superstar, in my opinion. And we're talking about Maya Selva. And we're going to talk about her, and we're going to talk a little bit about this particular cigar that I'm holding. This is the Maya Selva Año del Tigre 2022. Maya Selva's Year of the Tiger 2022 limited edition release. And it's in the theme of what a lot of major cigar companies are doing in releasing a line with the different zodiac signs. And so a lot of notable names have thrown their hat in the ring in regards to doing a line like this. And it can be rather enjoyable for people who follow horology and or you know, those type of things. This isn't exactly horology, but you know what I'm saying. Well, yeah, maybe it is horology. Duh, Jose. Okay, I'm not into any of that stuff or year of the whatever, but I do happen to be born in the year of the tiger. So I kind of found it interesting to grab cigars that were year of the tiger editions this year. And so far they've all been pretty good. Very good. Above average. And top of the line tobacco quality for sure. Now, you know, we're going to talk a little bit about the brand history here, of course, like I mentioned before. But we're also going to talk about Honduras. We have to talk about Honduras because that is at play here. And if you can see that, the way that, so what Maya did was that she combined the Chinese patterns with traditional Mayan hieroglyphics and sort of kind of melded them together. And as you can see, it has a very Asian yet Honduran Mayan civilization type feel to it. And it says up at here in the corner, hecho totalmente a mano, totally handmade. And Honduras desde 1995. Honduras as of 1995, because that's when Maya Selva began her operation in Honduras. So I've had this cigar now for a few months. I forget when I actually purchased it. I have it written down somewhere, but I've had it for a few months in the humidor at 6566 RH. I bought a 5-pack of it, so I've had some goes at it with it. I've smoked at least, I'm going to say at least 2 of them. So with this one, I have 2 left. And I can tell you right off the bat, I absolutely believe that this is a very good cigar to age, and I'm very interested in what this cigar is going to be like 2-3 years from now. Just off the wrapper right away, you're picking up a lot of heavy oaky spice. And even the cold draw is giving you some earthy spice. So, on the Eastern Coast, this was $25 a stick. As most of the Year of the Tiger releases from the major players, La Esencia being one of them. Those cigars were even more expensive at $40-50 a stick. In a lounge, easily close to $75, at least in New York City, right? I'm using that as an example. But this cigar would probably fall a bit more under the radar for lounge smokers that are used to seeing certain cigars. They may not see this. This might be more limited. It is limited edition, as the name of the cigar states, but it was readily available for quite some time, and I think the reception was rather good, rather good. Was it like anything like what the Davidoff did with their Year of the Tiger? Probably not. I mean, how much more dramatic can you get with actual tiger stripes on your cigar? That's just unbelievable uh, artwork there. But this company here, and this individual, this special individual, this superstar of an individual, Maya Selva, is just someone worth talking about, someone worth recognizing for the many accomplishments and perseverance and just just sticking with it and really delivering, because she's been putting out very, very good cigars. But here's the problem, or maybe not the problem. I'm just speaking out loud here. Our products are based in Honduras, primarily using Honduran tobacco, Honduran puros. And there are other people doing the same. You got Alec Bradley out there. You got Camacho. You got the Uroas. You've got Plasencia, right? You've got major players in Honduras. And in a lot of, I would say in Plasencia's case, he's got his hands in Nicaragua as well, too. But I think that in Maya's case, she's heavily invested into Honduras. And there are reasons why, and we're going to get to that. But I also feel like sometimes we don't say it, we don't say it, but we feel it or we think it. And maybe I'm just speaking for myself here, and I'll just speak for myself. I feel like sometimes Honduran tobacco doesn't get that recognition, right? As successful and as big as Plasencia is with their Honduran work, it doesn't compare, at least in my eyes, to the success of Padron in Nicaragua. I mean, yeah, two different animals. Yes, two different animals. Two great cigar men. Not necessarily pinning them against each other in any way, but what I'm saying in the significance, and of course in the history that Nicaragua has as opposed to Honduras, with tobacco and cigars, it's progressed in a different way, and obviously Mother Nature has played a big role in that, as well as geopolitics, but or politics in general for that matter. But with Honduras, it has suffered some major blows that have affected the quality. That's real. That's something you can actually taste. And Maya Selva, she felt the same way. She was a cigar smoker before she started anything, and she mainly smoked Honduran tobacco cigars, right? So she felt that they were lacking. The cigars that were coming out of Honduras in the 1990s, during the cigar boom, were just not on par with what the Dominican Republic was doing, or for that matter, it wasn't moving in the same manner that things were moving in Nicaragua. But Nicaragua had its problems as well. It's just how each country developed, or recovered from their tragedies. In time, obviously politics play a big role, and the work that gets done with the tobacco in that country also plays a big role. But sometimes as cigar smokers, I'll buy cigars sometimes and I don't know it's a Honduran puro. I'll tell you the truth. I buy several cigars a year that I just buy blind. I do no research on them. I look at them, I read a little something, and if I find it interesting enough for whatever reason, I buy it. And most of the time, I come out pleasantly surprised. I've just been lucky. Okay, I've been lucky. It's not like I have some kind of special gift. And but recently I purchased one that I kind of knew it was a Honduran puro. I knew it was going to be a Honduran puro just because the previous one had been, the previous rendition of that particular cigar. And this is an asylum cigar with Christian Eiroa, right? Azúcar. And this cigar, it just, whoa, when I smoked it, I was like, Honduran tobacco, okay. At its best, I don't know. Doesn't feel like it. Asked the same question with one of Plasencia's cigars and came away thinking that, yeah, this might be the best that Honduras has to give. And it's good. It's good and it's well done. But it doesn't come cheap. It doesn't come easy. And I think that as cigar smokers, I mean, I know a lot of cigar smokers that will just flat out say what I'm about to say right now, which is Nicaragua is where it's at. Because of the development, the progression of their tobacco industry, and just how well they've done things, and the major players that are there, just about everybody, right? And just how much Padron talked about it as being the next Cuba, or the best alternative to Cuba. And a lot of people have believed that to be true for a long time. Where does this leave Honduras? Because remember, the Dominican Republic has made such strides with the free zone and so forth. And Brazil has done their thing. I mean, they just operate out of volume, large volume, very weird jungle tobaccos in some cases that we may hear more of in the future. Mexico with their San Andres wrapper, wow, what a success. And some of their binders that have been coming out. We can't forget about the progress within the Connecticut Valley, though it hasn't been what a lot of people have wanted. It has maintained. And so American tobacco is still a major player as well, especially when you start thinking about, the fact that the American tobacco companies that have been around, like J.C. Newman, really know how to survive. So those are good, positive things. But look, I went around the world, but what I'm trying to say is that Honduras is sometimes not the choice tobacco that you dream about, and it just, I don't know. It has kind of had this bad rap along the years that it hasn't been able to bounce back quite as quickly or as efficiently or at, whatever. It just hasn't been able to come back to its former glory, or to the point where it was producing so much tobacco, so much quality tobacco, and giving Nicaragua a run for its money. But Maya Selva agreed that in the 1990s, those cigars she smoked from Honduras were not pleasing at all. On this particular cigar, Maya Selva made a point to use a wrapper from the Hamastran Valley and a binder from the Asacaculpa Valley, if I said that correctly, and filler from what she described as the very best of what they had. Very special, and she wanted the packaging to reflect that as well. This has that intertwinement of the Chinese and Mayan fawns, and this is a tiger. And the Mayans also had this belief called Nahal, and it was the belief that you were guided by a spirit animal, and this spirit animal would help you on your journey through life. And for a long time, I actually believed that as well, and to some degree, I still believe it. I used to think my spirit animal was a tiger because I was born in the year of the tiger, but in reality, I was told that no, your spirit animal is by a shaman. I was told that no, your spirit animal is the wolf. And it made so much sense to me when it was told to me, because I guess I identified with the wolf, and I have for a long time. So that's my spirit animal. And so she's combining all of these, the hieroglyphic, it's really nice packaging. Maya put together the 6x52 Toro Honduran Puro, and it's a medium bodied cigar. It's spicy. It's got very luscious notes of pepper. It's a little oaky and woody. It's got some cedar spice as well. It's got a very, very well constructed draw. It just draws amazing. It really does have such an even tempo draw. It's just perfect. And I appreciate that. I know that we all appreciate the draw in a when a cigar pulls very well and the aroma's good. So far I haven't really, it's not a windy day. It's 67 degrees. It's a nice day and it's not windy at all, but I'm not getting much of the aroma just yet. And now I'm getting the aroma and it's more earthy and spicy, and the cigar is following suit, giving you the earthiness with the cedar spice, some of the black pepper. Very fine, very well refined. I don't know how old the tobaccos in here are in regards to age, but I know that this is aged tobacco, or some aged tobacco in here. It's just very obvious to me in just the way that you get this mature flavor from tobacco sometimes when you get the, people talk about the hay, and or they talk about some musty notes or things like that, and there's a little woody hay to it as well, and there's just this smoothness as well that comes with it with older tobaccos. Not that you can't get that sharp pepper or bits of espresso on the end, because you can, but if done right, it's just delivered really smoothly, and I like the way that this is being delivered right now. Yeah. So now I'm getting like a very deep coffee flavor in the finish. And now I'm getting some cream, which is developing as well. And I rather like that. I like that combination in a cigar. This is my first cigar of the day and probably my last. And it's early afternoon. I've had a small meal much earlier. I'm not drinking anything currently with this cigar as I review it, but I do anticipate probably getting some water because it is very earthy and woody, and it is drying up my palate rather quickly. So, look, Honduras, the world's first banana republic. Uh, you know, Spain set up a trading center, trading post uh, near Santa Rosa outside of Copan. And that was like, what, 1765? That was a long, long time ago. And as early as the 1850s, Honduras was rejecting American involvement within their country. And it was doing so at a pace which accelerated very quickly, I guess you would say for some folks. By 1904, they were the world's first banana republic. They were the major importer of bananas. And if you're wondering, a banana republic is the reason they got that name is that association to bananas, right? In Honduras's case, um, the Banana Republic was established as more like running the country as a private entity for the ruling class, and basically everything was controlled. One would say that that sounds like a dictatorship. Yes, it is a dictatorship, but it goes a little further than that because of the economics involved in it. And I'm no economics major, but if you're running your country as a private slush fund, that is, yeah. I mean, you find similarities in what happened in the Philippines, or if you want to go in that direction. But in Honduras's case, uh, it became the first banana republic in the world, and it was the major exporter of bananas, making tons of money off bananas. 2022, it's not. I don't think it's even on the top 10. Although they have tried to recover in the early 2000s, and they're about 50% away from, I guess, you know, pre 1990s production, but they don't rank at the top. At the top, I believe, is Ecuador, and you've got other countries like Costa Rica and I forget right now. Colombia, they have good bananas as well. Look, their banana crop was wiped out in 1998 with Hurricane Mitch. Okay, their tobacco crops, their infrastructure was wiped out in 1998 by Hurricane Mitch. But before Hurricane Mitch arrived and destroyed everything and removed all of the topsoil, going back to after it became the leading exporter of bananas by the 1920s, early 1930s, we have a Honduras that is poised to take control of its destiny. But things they went through a lot in terms of their politics. But in the '60s, they were sort of given this boom because a lot of Cuban expats were looking for places to grow tobacco, looking for places to start businesses and developing, and they benefited greatly from that. So they also benefited when the Sandinistas took control in Nicaragua, because once that happened in Nicaragua, a lot of people were just emigrating over to Honduras and setting up shop. And even though Honduras did have a small part which was controlled by the Contras, the Sandinistas' opposition, they were able to do business while Nicaragua was kind of being held hostage, let's just say. Now, in the 1980s, before the cigar boom, before the one that, started getting things off, you know, Honduras suffered a major problem with disease and mold. And then it recovered from that. And as it was progressing within the cigar boom, they get hit with Hurricane Mitch. And it knocks everything out. And now you've got to start from scratch. And what you're growing here in Honduras, Cuban seed mostly, right? You've got Criollo, you've got Corojo, you've got shade grown Corojo, and you've got the Honduran shade, which is like the Connecticut shade, but the Honduran shade. And so you've got a couple of things that are growing there, and in different regions that are growing. You've got El Paraíso, which is in the southeast. You've got the Hamastran Valley. You've got Danlí. You've got the Talanga Valley. You've got, and then the Talanga Valley is where you have the encallado growing technique with the tents protecting it from the wind and the sun, and the mountainous area providing that, that cloud cover and so forth. So you've got these regions. You've got the Copan region, and all of these places, they're even growing San Andres now. Okay, so they're trying to progress. Here we are, 2022, smoking a Honduran puro by Maya Selva, and this cigar embraces the rich history of its country. It also displays top quality tobacco, in my opinion. Top quality. It's a spicy, oaky, woody, cedar-like smoke. It is a great representation of what I know a good Honduran tobacco to be. It's got black pepper. It's got some creaminess. And it's got coffee in the finish. So these regions that Honduras is growing tobacco in are doing extremely well at this point in time. The Copan region near where the original trading post was set up by the Spaniards in 1765, is doing very well and producing very good tobacco. You've got other major players in Honduras, of course, like Nestor Plasencia, and as I mentioned, the companies before, like Alec Bradley, a lot of individuals that are highly interested in Honduras right now. But Maya Selva is Franco-Honduran. Father was Honduran, her mother was French. She grew up and was raised in Honduras up until the age of 16, and then she moved to Paris and she studied engineering, became an engineer. She was a cigar smoker. She smoked Honduran tobacco. She was aware of certain things. She had a certain type of knowledge about cigars. But in 1994, she met Nestor Plasencia, and she had this idea of wanting to bring a pure Honduran product to the market. And she did so. She did so because after she met Plasencia, she studied and mentored under him for quite some time. I believe it maybe a year or two, something like that. And then from there, she launched Maya Selva Cigars. This in 1995, she dropped like 50,000 cigars. That was a small amount, and by '98 she had purchased her first farm in Danley, and by '99 she had moved up to 600,000 cigars being produced, and she learned a lot from working with Plasencia. He took her under his wing, and he really showed her the ropes and helped her. And to this day, he still produces some cigars for her, and she's been able to open up other brands throughout the years. Kumpai is another brand. Villa Zamorano is another brand. I don't think that people gravitate to them as much as they do to her Maya Flor de Selva lines, and I think that that's because a lot of people recognize the high quality tobaccos that are being used in these particular lines. I haven't actually tried the other lines, so I don't want to speak and say that they're bad, but I haven't heard the most positive things about them. And that's fine because that's not her flagship brand. She bought her own farm in '98 and started to work in. She would work through the fields. She worked in the office. She was involved in every stage. She's the only woman producing cigars right now. I think maybe I'm not 100% right on that. Maybe she was the only one, but I think Nilka Reyes is another. So she's one of two, let's just say. If and I'll try and verify that when I put it in the description. But if you do look that up, I mean, it comes up as she's the only one. But I do believe that Nilka Reyes might be doing that, unless Nilka's just blending. It could be possible that Nika's blending and just getting the tobaccos from her uncle's De Los Reyes farms. Maya Selva is also one of the founding members of the Honduran Tobacco Association. And, this association of cigar makers includes the Roas, it includes the Plasencias, it includes a couple of other Consolidated Cigar, General Cigar, and she's one of the founding members here, and she's very proud of her roots, and she's very proud of the cigars that she makes and blends, and I think she's done a really good job with this cigar. It's been getting creamier. It's got a nice creaminess with a little coffee in the finish still, and you still get that woody note and that earthy feel, earthy spice to it, but you get a lot of cream right now. Yeah, lots of cream. Lots of cream. It's very smooth, medium bodied, medium strength. Great draw, as I mentioned before. Still doing that. Burn line, no issues with it really. It isn't the cleanest of burn lines, but it isn't hampering it one bit. It's been performing well, so I'll keep you updated. This has been a wonderful cigar as well. I've lately been smoking some very, 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 very good cigars, and they have just been wonderful. And this one is included. I love the delivery of cream and pepper with cedar spices, and you have the coffee note in the finish, this earthiness to the tobacco, this calm delivery of strength measured well against the creaminess, and just the overall oakiness of the cigar. Maybe this review comes in too late for some of us that want to purchase the cigar, and I'm sorry for that. Uh, I'm really meant to get around to it a lot sooner, but I'm glad that I was able to talk about Maya Selva and everything that she's doing and Honduras' future and just how wonderful the cigar was and how well it performed. And I thoroughly recommend it, and I thoroughly recommend her lines and looking into her Flor de Selva line as well, the flagship, because I think it's absolutely amazing and really good tobaccos. So I want to thank you all as this cigar gets spicier in the final third and the cream kind of fades off, and tell you all thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time on Backyard Cigars.